Does life ever seem confusing? Just kind of weird and convoluted and difficult to grasp, and everything's moving in a different direction, and all the colors are weird and changing constantly. Yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking. Because I think the same thing. Life often seems to be that way. In fact, something that's really heavy on my heart this week is all the people in Texas that have been displaced and suffering because of the flood. There's a lot going on there, and we need to do a couple things. We need to engage in praying for those people actively, the victims. And then, in addition to that, we need to be praying for the churches in those areas that are responding to the crisis. This is a wonderful opportunity for churches to be the social center of God's kindness, particularly in that area that's suffering. When churches become places of refuge and places of hope, this is the time for the church to shine. And so pray specifically for churches to really be centers of gospel hope and kindness at this time. Another thing that comes up because of this whole Texas flood issue and all the other stuff that's happening, whether it's Charlottesville or Texas flood or goodness, the next door neighbor who's got cancer, all these types of things. Any tragedy or trauma or difficulty really begs the question, where is God? Where is God in all of this? If God is great, then he could have stopped the flood or changed the direction of the hurricane. If God was good, then he would have been changing the direction of the hurricane. Why would a good God give a child cancer? These are big, difficult questions that these kinds of situations really pull out of us. Well, in response to these questions, the Christian world has come up with a whole field of study, as long as the church has been in existence, actually, and it's called apologetics. Apologetics is the genre of Christian theology and study that tries to address these big, huge questions of where is God and all the evil and trouble of the world. So, not in really response directly to Texas, but in response to all kinds of issues that have gone on within our church and outside of our church and in the nation and the world, we have asked a specialist to come in and conduct a course for 8 weeks. This is an actual apologist, a trained apologist who teaches this particular content and lessons for a living, and they're going to be coming and sharing with us for 8 weeks starting on September 20th. It's a serious class for people who are really interested in this particular topic of answering these big questions through biblical education and understanding. So if you're interested in that and you're willing to pay a bit for it, because it costs $50 to take, each person $50 to take this course. And so it's an 8-week course starting on September 20th, Wednesday night. So for 8 Wednesday nights, you will have the opportunity to interact with a specialist regarding apologetics and understand at the end of that 8 weeks a great deal more than you do now about the big questions that confront us and you're often confronted with as a Christian. Now, also related to the whole Texas thing, I was wondering this week, goodness gracious, what if we were debt-free? What if this church was debt-free? What could we do right now if we, as I've told you, were debt-free and had an additional $25,000 to $30,000 extra a month in our budget? What could we do in response to this Texas flood situation? Could we infuse churches with resource to be able to be the social center of God's kindness in the midst of all this? I think we could, but we're not debt-free yet. We're wanting to be there so that we can respond. So faithful obedience leads and opens up the opportunity to be inspired with generosity. Faithful obedience leads to freedom, and freedom opens us up to be inspired to be generous. That's the process. I preached that a couple weeks ago, and I'm still encouraging you this week to think about it. So we've enacted this Freedom 500 initiative, and that is we've got a couple dozen weeks before the end of the year, and if we have 500 people willing to commit $15 a week to the Freedom Seed Initiative over and above their regular giving, So, yes, continue being faithfully obedient in the tithing, whatever percentage that is for you. But if you can think that you can find within your car seats and, fasting lunch or whatever it is, $15 extra to go towards Freedom Seed, I'm telling you, by the end of the year, we will be in a position to move forward to be debt free. So I'm hoping that you that can do a whole lot more will keep on doing it. But you that can do not so much, you don't have thousands of dollars you can give to this, but maybe you can find $15 a week to contribute to Freedom Seed. It's an incredible opportunity to do a little with a lot of people and have a huge impact on being debt free. And then something like this happens again in Texas, we'll be in a position to be inspired to be generous. This coming Sunday, I am really excited about it. Matthew chapter 6, read it, get into it, dig deep. We're going to learn about 2 treasures, 2 eyes, and 2 masters. 2 treasures, 2 eyes, and 2 masters. What does that mean? Read Matthew 6 and find out. And by the way, if you're interested in that apologetics course and you want to be serious about it, hand me a check on Sunday and say, hey, sign me up, Steve. If we have 10 or more people, we're going to do it. If we don't have 10 or more people, we're not going to do it. So it's a serious class. If you want to RSVP, hand $50 over to me on Sunday. We'll get you signed up. Email me, text me, call me, see me on this coming Wednesday and give me your name and number, and we'll set you up to be a part of this class. I love you, Heritage Community Church. May the peace of God rule your heart and mind. God bless you. Have a fabulous weekend.